So guys, welcome to Villains or Not Villains, or the new way of the bad guy. Not the old way, not the bad way. Still a bad guy, I guess, but there's a lot of sort of retconning or transformation or change. This morning, had the pleasure of watching Snarky J, one of her latest, I think her latest video. Love Snarky J. If you don't know her, YouTuber, awesome. And she talked about evil becoming emo. How villains today, various movies, and you know who you are now, they're now emo. They're not evil, they're emo. And I gotta agree. And I thought it would be nice to take, since a lot of people watch my channel who are Star Trek fans, and I am amongst you. I'm a Star Trek fan as well. I'm a Trekkie, and I wanted to take one villain. We can take Khan, of course, the Borg Queen, so many. But from Deep Space Nine, I want to take Gul Dukat. And yes, I'm sure you either know of him, love to hate him, or certainly know of him. So you take something like that arc, that character arc, which he's introduced in the very first episode, The Emissary, Deep Space Nine, played by the great Mark Alimo. Had the pleasure of meeting Mark, sharing a drink with him in the lobby of the hotel when he was in a convention. Great guy. Did some Shakespeare that night for us. But what Mark Alimo did, what the writers did of Deep Space Nine, is take that character, introduced in Emissary, the former Cardassian commander and leader of Terok Nor of Deep Space Nine. And throughout the 7 seasons, throughout all those years, proved to us just what an evil, a bad dude he was. He never became emo. He was evil. So what was the nuances, though, the arcs? Well, the episodes that come to mind quite meaningfully and prime are when he showed any sort of love or sympathy to some of the characters. And of course, Ziyal was his daughter, right? So he was a father. So he did have that compassion as a dad. And then, great episode, I believe it was the Orb of Time, the orbs of the prophets and the Bajorans, and Kira uses a time orb to go back in time to see how her mother was treated by Gul Dukat. It's a great episode, and it really shows that, all right, he's not 100% evil. Who's 100% good? What's 100% of anything, right? So he had compassion for her, obviously wanted her as a lover, a comfort woman. But what it does as well is just show the contrast. It shows just how much the difference is when he is so very evil, and he is, and he never becomes anything other than truly evil. And at the end, not the spoilers, because I know some people might like to watch, the end again, or they don't know, they can't remember, or they haven't seen it. But trust me when I say, of course, that Gul Dukat is truly one of the baddest, most evil villain in all of Star Trek and all of science fiction. So, and then, of course, as Snarky J commented in her video, we've got something like Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, someone I believe, I don't know what the body count is for sure. I think it's hundreds. I mean, it's certainly many dozens that he killed and then, or responsible for killing. Then, of course, killing his dad. Ben Solo kills Han Solo, which in an interview, I believe a couple years back, he said that every day he's reminded of it. Somebody reminds a Star Wars fan says, you killed Han Solo, and he's very nervous about it. Adam Driver as an actor. And then in Rise of Skywalker, we have Rey sort of redeeming him with the kiss that everyone is like, wow, what are you doing here? You're trying to literally take a mass murderer. Okay, so he changes. He kind of sees the light. He comes to the light side, escapes from the dark side, but now he's this emo sort of white lighter. So what do you think? I just think Snarky was saying, and it's so true, the contrast between the truly good and evil. Say black and whites. I mean, there's grays and everything, sure. But when you're talking drama, when you're talking the stage, film, television, when you're talking dramatics, you need to have a pretty good differentiation. You need to have a pretty good black and white. You can always put a little, yin yang, a little bit black in the white and the white and the black, a little gray, sure. But for the most part, they need to be truly delineated. Even Ben Sisko in Deep Space Nine. There are times when Ben does things that are not exactly up to Starfleet specs, not exactly maybe the good guy, but we know that overall, Commander and then Captain Ben Sisko is a good guy. He's not a douchebag. So what do you think? Villains, should they be evil? Should they remain evil? Or should they be a little emo? Give us your thoughts. Give us your feedback. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're subscribing. See you soon.